Brilliance Audio presents the unabridged recording of Things We Set on Fire by Deborah Reed, performed by Tanya Eby. For Jack Driscoll. And slowly I would rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house. Robert Hayden. Prelude. 30 years ago, Vivvie replaced the frayed laces in Jackson's work boots with bright red ones, telling him they were all Roth's grocery carried in that length, telling him the clash of tan boots and red laces provided him a certain style, like a woodsman, a Florida woodsman. The following day, Jackson went into the woods behind their house on Turtle Dove Lane, and Vivvie went too. Not that he could see her crouched along a squeezed corner of the crooked river. His shoelaces were eye-catching, dizzying through her rifle scope from 50 yards away. A trace of juniper, like gin, surrounded Vivvie's head. She'd tethered Big Boy to her ankle once he brought her to Jackson, but her husband's scent, so close, caused the hound to tug, and Vivvie forced him down, knowing she was asking too much. Big Boy loved Jackson. Everybody loved Jackson. No one more than Vivvie. She watched as her husband dug through his vest pocket and pulled out a turkey call. He was poaching, the season still 2 weeks away, and he hadn't worn his orange vest, hadn't told anyone but Vivvie he was coming, and this was how she came to the idea. Her eyes stung when he'd practiced the piercing call on the porch, and again here as his trills warbled through the trees. Vivvie's small hands were nearly palsied by the way they trembled. She lowered the rifle to search for a breath, to fight the urge to run and fall into Jackson's arms and hide from the very thing she had planned against him. Elin and Kate were too young to be left home alone, and yet Vivvie would not be rushed. She set the rifle down, massaged the dog's neck, and drove the hair from her face long after the strays had settled behind her ears. Rifles cracked off shots in the distance, deer hunters, any one of whom could have mistaken Jackson's camouflaged coloring for a buck. Vivvie raised the barrel, pressed the cold scope to her eye just as Jackson spit out the call, held his fist to his mouth, and clenched his eyes as if seized by pain or prayer. At her feet, a soft wavering moan grew into a searing bellow. Big Boy lunged, and Vivvie was airborne, dragged across brushwood that hiked up her jacket, and—
Sample complete. Ready to continue?